think the first thing was that she was in the rotation, first of all, and yeah. No, I just think the things that we worked on, like I told you guys earlier in the week, I really think she's a high IQ player, and she's a vet. She needed to get used to our system a little bit, and so I think it's a natural bump for her to move over to ball handling responsibilities, and her having constant communication with the coaching staff and knowing how to get players in certain spots and stuff like that. And she's probably the best guard rebounder that has ever played. If you look at her stats from when she came in the league and how she's been able to rebound 7-8 rebounds a game, and that's something that's been constant. So her getting a triple double is not surprising. It's just I think the I guess tertiary part of that is her putting the ball in the basket, and she's seemed to find a rhythm and where she can get her spots, and so it's been really good.
Just to follow up on that, obviously, like you said, Courtney's a veteran, been around the league a while. When you have a player like that hit a milestone like this, do you kind of pull them aside and say like, hey, enjoy this moment? Is there anything that you do to kind of just make sure that they're kind of soaking in that moment?
We do that. We make them soak in the moment. So we give her a water bath. So that was it. That was your soaking in. Yeah. Mess up her hair and everything. So that's what we do.
Coach, pursuant to that, Courtney talked about a bit on yesterday about giving herself grace. And today it seemed apparent from the jump that you wanted to, or that she was going for rebounds and really trying to start the fast break.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been something that's we haven't necessarily seen the team be as forthright about so far this season. Was that something that you two discussed? Was it something that she was just like, I'm going to try and get the transition game going?
So yeah, it's more of a communication and filling it out, and us coaching and us talking and us listening to players and stuff like that. And that's how you actually, so you say when you lose a game, you don't really lose, you learn. So when we figure out how we could best attack teams defensively, or how we could best attack them on their defensive side of the ball, I think because we don't root a lot of our things in frustration, we're able to think clearly and actually improve. And so you're going to see the offense improve as everything gets along, because now we know, okay, what's making us, fall behind early in the game, or what's making us turn over the ball. And so that's what it's all about. And Courtney, because she's such a high IQ player, she can help us in executing that. And that's why it's important to, have her play a big amount of time on the floor. I think, like we said, I think against Connecticut, she was a 0 in a 20-point loss or something like that. And her being a plus 23 today is no surprise. So she makes game plays, and she makes plays for her teammates, and she's looking to make them comfortable while also at the same time trying to get herself going. So the one thing that we, try to add to that is that if she's looking to get players open, players has to help her out too by setting screens for her, by trying to get her open, to get her easy looks when she gets off the ball. So it's a team thing, and just us teaming the heck out of people. That's how we win. That's how we win games.
How you doing, Coach? You guys today had your guards were stretching out the hedges, hitting the short roll, getting into the second side with a lot of tempo and pace. Was that a point of emphasis for you today on the offensive side?
Yeah, we worked on that a lot. It's we worked on like our decision making and stuff like that. We had some little lows where we'll fall asleep. Our turnovers, they always come in a row, but outside of that, I thought we did the right thing by making the right play. And we were always able to get like catch and shoot shots or layups. It was just about us converting them. And but we worked on our spacing a lot, like a whole lot. And I thought it was really beneficial the time we spent in that. And but when you do that, sometimes you take away from the time you have to play defense. And so you can see that in the first half. We probably need to focus on that too. So.
And I was actually going to ask about the defensive side. Over the last 2 games against the Sparks, y'all were kind of playing multiple coverages, a little bit of drop, a little bit of hedging, all of that.
Mhm.
What did you see from that today in contrast to the game from earlier this week?
I think Tanya did a good job of putting them in situations where they were comfortable, and we don't have to overthink. Sometimes it's about being simple, but sometimes it's really about quizzing them and making sure that they're in the right spot and doing the right things, and not having NECA be comfortable or not having Jordan Canada be comfortable. And I thought we were able to execute that at a high rate. So it was good for us that we learned our lesson from the last time we played Los Angeles, and we were able to execute the way we wanted to execute, and I thought it was great.
Kind of harkening back to an earlier question, this was probably the best start offensively that you guys have had in probably 6-7 games.
Right.
What was just your overall thoughts on just how you guys started out with just high energy, not just from Courtney, but from the team as a whole?
We were sharing the ball, and we were making like 0.5 decisions where decisions were coming quick, and we were making decisions so quickly that we didn't want to play defense. So yeah, I was thinking about the defensive end. Basically, I was like, we were shooting, I don't know, like 65, 66% or something like that, or 78%, something like that. And I was like, man, look, I don't want to have to shoot 78% to beat them, and because we were only up like 6 or something. So that was my whole focus going into halftime, is how are they? I think they had like 10 more shots than us or something like that. And so that's a recipe for, disaster. If they're getting more shots than you, they're getting to the free throw line, because you can't depend on shooting 65, 70% the entire game. So I appreciated everything we did on the offensive end, and we showed them the things that they did successful at halftime offensively, but we also had some stuff to clean up. So I was more focused on that part.
Speaking of that, the last 3 minutes, I could tell you were getting a little frustrated with just how the defense wasn't there. What was just your thoughts on the last 3 minutes of the game?
I thought we relaxed a little bit, and Kurt Miller doesn't. He's intense, so his team's going to be ready, man. And we can't relax. And like that, they just made a run. They got some talented players on that side of the floor, and I thought we relaxed a little bit. And we're human; that happens sometimes. But we have to learn from that. Just like a loss, we have to learn from it that we can't relax. Like, we really have to be focused for 40 minutes, or however long it takes to finish the game. But it has to be a level of intensity, and you can relax it. Like, they can relax after the game. We got food back there, and cake and cookies and all that stuff. They can relax now. So I don't know why they want to relax at that point in the game. So, but they're all right. They're good. I'm proud of them. I don't want to get lost in that.
And then one last follow-up, the turnovers was something that you really hearkened on during that 6-game losing streak. You guys have now kept it below that average. You're at 15 or less, what are your thoughts on trying to limit that, moving forward, especially with the All-Star break coming up?
It's important. In order for this team to be successful. Not having turnovers is a key. And it's coincided with us winning and losing games, and how well we play. We have to have more shots. We caught up. Like, they were plus 10. They finished only the game plus 2 because we started taking care of the ball. And I thought we did a great job in the second half. I just feel like it's something that we can do more consistently. It just has to be at the top of mind every time. Yeah.
When you signed Courtney this offseason, when did you have a conversation with her about being, the leader of this offense, about being the point guard, and how did that conversation go, given that, she's spoken about how she hasn't really played this position throughout her career like this? So yeah, just what was that conversation like?
That was a more in-season type thing. I think in the off season, we talked about just her coming in, playing, and being another leader for us, and having good energy. And, I knew that her communication was great. So as we got into the season, and, Courtney is someone that's very, communicative, and she's like that with the coaches. And so we were communicating actually more than me and any other of the guards. And I felt like, okay, she's probably someone that I can talk to throughout the game, and she can kind of, I guess, replicate what I want by communicating that to the players. So, that makes it easier for me to have the ball in her hands because she's actually doing what the game plan is and making sure that the players are okay doing it. So that was more of a transitional thing. And it happened organically. So it was really cool. This year? Maybe, yeah. Because it didn't offensively, because sometimes it gets, I guess, masked by our defensive intensity that gives us easy runouts and stuff like that. So we've had like games where we had some great games offensively, but it was predicated on how much we were in passing lanes and how, hard we were to play against. But this was like, I guess the best game where you talk about running sets and spacing and picking people apart offensively. We had 28 assists in a game that we could have probably had 35, So, yeah, I think so.
Hey, Coach. You talked about decision making. You talked about the spacing, and you just mentioned when I was going to mention the efficiency, the 28 assists on the 37 made buckets, all 5 starters in double figures. You said it's maybe the most complete game offensively you guys have had. So as the calendar turns to July with a handful of games left before the All-Star break, what's the message to the team to carry this momentum to find that more consistency on offense?
Just believe in each other and believe in what you're doing. I think that's the thing. We have players that are really making strides to like integrate into our group and to continue communicating. It's a special group, man. And I've seen the way they've stuck together after losses, and I just love the vibe and the energy of those players in the locker room, and I love their buy-in to the entire coaching staff. And they're a special group, and I don't want them to be judged on a record or anything like that. I love those group of women, so it's really cool.
We'll go to Zoom. Brian, please unmute. Brian Teague.
Real quick, so you kind of touched on some of that defensive effort for the team in the first half. It looked like the Sparks had the advantage when it came to 50-50 balls. Can you talk to us just about how you felt about Alana and Kai just showing that grit and getting to loose balls there in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, that was something that I challenged the group with in the at halftime, and I felt like they were. You saw the level of desire that they had to get balls in the second half. That it wasn't the same, and they, credit to them that they corrected themselves. They self-corrected, and they went and got the balls that we didn't get in the first half, and it was a big difference in the game and the number of possessions because we were able to get those balls. So, like I said, I think we were -10 or -12 on the shots, and we only finished -2. So I think the players did a great job, Alanna and Kai included, of going to get 50-50 balls and making sure that we secure them so we can get some offense going.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll go to Jeffrey on Zoom. Jeffrey, please unmute.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win today.
Thanks.
I noticed that not only were you players play with more energy today, they seem to be having a lot more fun and enjoying themselves too. Like Marina celebrating her teammate's success and Clea playing with a bit of style after a basket. What is it that's clicked over the last 2 games that's allowed you, as you've assured us, to end that bit of a bad spell there, and now they really seem to be discovering themselves again and playing with passion again?
Well, I mean, we just we try to learn from our mistakes, and we focus on the things, team things. We celebrate individual stuff, but we focus on the team things and the little things, the sharing stuff. The setting a good screen, the making an extra pass, the spacing to the corner. I felt like during that 7-game streak, we were running a little short of the corners and stopping at the free throw line. That way people were bunched up and they were, were able to be guarded by one person. And the fact when they stretched out the offense and sometimes ran away from the ball to give space to their teammates, we focused on those things and we celebrated those things as much as we celebrated a shot made or, or a fancy pass. Like we celebrate the little things. And I think when you have players to feel celebrated and to feel encouraged with those little things, I think that's when you have that buy-in to doing that stuff for each other. Like I said, the players they're great in the locker room and they want to play for each other. They want to do the right thing. They just got to have the direction. So sometimes we may go into some lows later, but they have, everybody has their back and we have a lot of self-awareness. So it's really cool.
Thanks so much, Coach. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
So I've asked you almost every game about Atlanta, but she just keeps doing stuff that's conducive to winning.
Yeah.
Can you just speak to what it is about how she's carved out a role through the injuries? She didn't really start until Morgan got hurt.
Yeah.
And she got into the starting lineup, but she's really had a stranglehold on the since.
Yeah. I mean, she's been good, man. This is what we saw in Poland. This is what I saw in Stanford. Atlanta just needs people to have her back and know that they believe in her and give her direction, and get her to stop thinking so much. She's really intelligent. And sometimes I want her to just trust her feel and kind of not overthink when it's, she misses a couple. Now she doesn't look at the rim. We need her to I think I got so mad at her one time on a swing play. She didn't look at the basket. And I was like, you can't do that. You got to look at the rim every time. If they're not guarding you, then you don't help us, especially a player that can shoot like you can. And she was like, okay. And sometimes I don't know if she get it. So I get this from my mom. I repeat so much and they probably get so tired of it. But my mom, she's, oh my gosh. So Atlanta, I'm sure she feels the same way, but she did it. And she was she's got some game, man. She's got some game. She's when she's locked in, she's a good defensive player. And I think she's a good WNBA player, and I think it's being noticed now. And I'm just glad because she's even better person than she is a player. So it's really cool. All right, thanks, guys. All right.
chemistry? You know, what was your mom telling you to shoot more today? What was going on? What was clicking for you, you know, offensively?
I mean, low key, I ain't even take that many shots. I only took 8. But I got it going.
Efficiency.
My teammates was knocking down shots. You know, you don't have a triple double without your teammates. So that was a big thing, man. Them just trusting me to play make and knocking down shots.
You spoken a lot about trying to find people in their spots and making sure you're getting the good passes. You gave Alana some good looks. You gave some good looks. How would you just assess your passing and your assist abilities now that, you know, a month into the season? Do you feel like there's more for you to grow, or is this, you know, peak of what we can see out of assists, you know, 13, 14 plus a game? What can we see?
Nah, I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't ever want to limit yourself, right? But I definitely went crazy today. But you don't want to limit yourself. I think, you know, I'm getting more comfortable at the point guard position. I'm learning where she want the ball, learning where my teammates want the ball, where they can be effective. So I mean, like I told y'all, just giving each other grace and learning, building that chemistry. And I mean, it don't happen overnight, but you know, we in the building.
Courtney, James talked about a conversation he had with you guys, or just like your ease into this position at point guard, and that it was your communication that stood out to him. He said you were an extension kind of him out there,
Right.
and he trusted you to relay the messages he has, you know, to the rest of the team in a way that they could hear and absorb. So yeah, from your perspective, what was that kind of acknowledgement of, I want you to be the one running our offense, and how did you receive kind of that message from him?
I think I stay balanced and I just try to let my teammates know, like, at the end of the day, it's a game that we love to play, right? So don't get too down on yourself. Like, it's okay. Like, everybody make bad plays, everybody makes mistakes. So, you know, sometimes he get hyped up, sometimes other people get hyped up, but it's like, we all right, y'all. Like, we gonna be okay. Like, let's work through it, because one misstep can turn into another one, can turn into another one. So you gotta just make sure everybody, like, yeah, we all right, y'all. Like, you good, Lan? We in the building.
Yeah, I think we all like have learned about James. Like, he's a very direct person, and so what for you? How do you learn to relay a message that you know he wants relayed, but in again that way that your teammates are gonna maybe hear in a different way than his directness maybe can allow them?
Because I got a relationship with him, right? So it's like I talk to them outside of like basketball. I actually have conversations with them, so they know if I'm telling them something, I'm telling them out of love. I'm telling them because I want them to be better and do better. And I'm not coming at them like, you know what I'm saying?
Everything's said with a smile.
Yeah, it's like,
if it's like, hey, you gotta play some fucking defense. Said with a smile.
Yeah, it's like, look, do this. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm constantly talking to them, so it ain't like I'm like one game I don't talk, the next game it's like I try to stay consistent and in their ear every single game. So I think that's major too, because it's one thing to have you talking this game and then the next game you mute. I think one game I did that and Lan came beside me and was like, Corey, is you all right? What's wrong with your energy, right? And I love that, because it's like I can come to you, you can come to me. You see what I'm saying? It's like I don't never get on no high horse to the point that y'all can't come tell me when I need to get my shit together too. You see what I'm saying? Excuse my language, but I feel like that's the balance of like, y'all trust me, I trust y'all. Like, be able to tell me, I'm gonna be able to tell y'all, and let's make it a every game type of thing. And I think that's the relationship that I build with them. They know, like, I'm gonna be in your ear every game. I'm gonna tell you what I see every single game. I'm not gonna take this game off or take this game off. I'm constantly talking to you. And I think, yeah. So that's why, you know, you build that trust. And again, it's brick by brick.
What's going on, Courtney?
Hey, ask my dog something.
Oh, no. Triple double queen.
She ain't just here to be cute.
I got you. Starters with plus 15, and y'all really were like hitting like the little things in y'all half-court offense with pace and tempo. Do you feel like this more so just the continuity with reps building up over time, but y'all being allowed for like 6 weeks with Atlanta in the starting lineup now?
Yeah, I mean, it's you continuously playing with somebody, I think you build that chemistry, you build that trust. You learn where they want the ball, you learn how they want the ball. So I think that's just again like just something that's just you build on.
And then for Atlanta, I got you.
There you go. Come on, now tighten up.
So for you kind of carved out a unique role kind of through the injury woes and everything that y'all had going on, being like a connector, making +1 passes on offense, and then hedging and switching on defense. What about it, like in this opportunity where you kind of found like, okay, I can really just start being myself? I think James mentioned it a couple times that team is at their best when you're yourself versus kind of thinking a little too much.
Yeah, I think I'm like that type of player that just like wants to do everything for the team. You know, I want to play defense, I want to rebound, and I want to score. And I think like I'm also versatile enough to do it in different ways. So I really attribute my success to just the confidence that my team has in me and my teammates, like Courtney finding me or James telling me today on the bench, like, hey, you need to shoot the ball. Like, I think this is the first 3 I've made in a lot of games, but he keeps telling me, hey, shoot the ball. Like, and I get that confidence and I hear that every game. So I think that just helps me, you know, thrive. Yeah.
I want to say something about her too. Underrated basketball IQ. Like she she see the game, right? And I think that it's overlooked at times because she do all the dirty stuff, right? But I see you, big dog.
It's cool.
Alana, kind of building on that, James talked about how sometimes he feels like he just wants you to think a little bit less and just kind of like act on instinct. How do you approach that? That feels like a very difficult directive to maybe get. How have you maybe tried to implement that in your game a little bit?
I think I'm my own worst critic, you know, like I'm hardest on myself out of everybody else. So I think what I take from that is just to like let little things go, you know, and just go with the flow of the game, because like I don't like making mistakes. I don't like it when people score on me. So I think I just need to like just let that go and go with the flow of the game. And like Court said, like I think I've got a pretty good IQ as well. So when I go with the feel of it rather than thinking too much, better things happen rather than just like focusing on the negatives.
Yeah. Courtney, we've talked about the assists and the scoring, but the rebounds are obviously the third part of that triple-double. You're consistently one of the top rebounders for the Sky. You've been kind of in that role throughout your entire career, wherever you are. What do you think makes you different as a rebounder, specifically as a guard rebounder?
Nah, you said it. I'm different. Nah, just joking, but not joking. But nah, but I think I just like I got a knack for where the ball goes. You know what I mean? Like I want to help them. So, and I also think like I thrive when I get a rebound and I can just go. And I think I've just always been that way. Like if I can go get the rebound, I don't have to worry about calling a play, or I don't have to worry about somebody trying to get me a bucket. It's like, nah, like, we can rock. Like let's go, let's push this pace. So I think that's always been something that's just been a part of my game. I told James when I first got here, like I don't box out. I just go.
That's my job.
Alana, I've been asking a lot of people about their individual philosophy, and Courtney, we've coming into this environment. How has that evolved from, say, when you were playing at Stanford to now? Like, what have you taken with you as like a doctrine and mantra that keeps you going?
Pronounce your name.
Is it Atlanta?
It's Alana. So I think
Alana,
it's hard for Americans to get their mouth around the la, but we'll work on it. Yeah. Americans say Atlanta, like Atlanta, but Alana, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I think like one quote that's kind of stuck with me since my Stanford days is a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. So for me, like I've gone through a lot of adversity in my career, and I've hit points in my career where I've wanted to quit, or I've been like, what's the point? but I've kind of stuck with it and trusted myself, and it's taken time to like get to this point where I'm at now, where like I have enough confidence and also just like sheer willpower to be like, I don't really care what happens. Like I love basketball, I love playing, and so I'm gonna just whenever I get my opportunity, I'm gonna play how I love to play. And so I think I've found like a really good environment here in Chicago where I've had this opportunity to play, and I'm playing well with a really good group of people on and off the court. And I've been able to take the negative experiences that I've had in the past and use them for good. Like it's all learning experiences, and I think like it just makes me really grateful to be in the position that I'm at right now. Like I never take it for granted that I get to be in the WNBA, especially as a foreign basketball player. Like it's really, really hard to make a WNBA roster spot. So like I'm just super, super grateful that I've got this opportunity and I get to play, especially with amazing players like Courtney.
Oh, you're spitting.
I'll wrap it up with Carly.
To kind of follow up on that, when we spoke in the preseason, you said your motto for the year is you're a hardworking shooter. But defensively, you just a couple weeks ago you said you wanted to work on the fouling. You cut it down, kept it to 2 today, and you really wanted to kind of hone in on your defense. What have you done over these last few games to kind of finesse your defense and kind of make it a little bit cleaner, so you're not getting, there are gonna be calls that won't go your way, but just to kind of make it a little bit cleaner defensively?
I feel like I played really aggressively on defense. I think I've kind of dialed that back a notch a little bit and picked and chosen my times where to be aggressive rather than just coming out the gate hot. And I think that's really helped me kind of get a feel for how the game's being reffed, like what they're allowing and what they're not allowing. And also just like not allowing calls to dictate how I play as well, in terms of just like not getting frustrated, just getting on with it.
Also, any wrap ups? All right, thanks, players.
Appreciate y'all.